Absolute power corrupts absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same.
Right, this is Word on Road and my name's Jojo. Right now I'm with one of the UK's most inspirational, you know what, let's scrap that. The UK's hip hop ambassador, and he goes by the name of Akala. What's going on? How are you doing? Are you enjoying it here in Birmingham?
Always enjoying Birmingham. Birmingham, I spent a lot of time here as a teenager, so it kind of...
Really?
It feels all familiar, yeah.
Oh, that's good, that's good. So you're here tonight in Brum City, here at the Drum, and it's your thing, right?
Yeah, got a little show, yeah, doing a show, kind of full band.
I think some artists just forget about that whole live aspect sometimes, but you've also...
I think we're encouraged to, like we don't have, or haven't had the same culture here for a while that maybe our parents or grandparents had with reggae music, which was instrument-based, jazz, blues, whatever else, and we kind of lost that a bit, which I think is to the detriment of the music.
So we haven't saw you for sort of like, we haven't been able to link up with you for almost about a year. Yeah, Word on Road, you know, it's Akala right now, busy guy. What have you been up to? What's at the forefront of your diary? What's been going on?
I released a new mixtape last week called Knowledge is Power. I've been working on that for a little while.
Yeah.
Been working live band to prep what will be my 4th album, and it will probably come out next year. Doing a lot of work with young people, a lot of education work with hip hop, Shakespeare, and history stuff and things like that. I wrote a script. A drama script, yeah.
A drama script, so you're all into the acting as well, yeah?
No, I'm not acting.
You're not acting, but you're writing, directing.
Yeah, I don't know about directing, writing. I'm going to take it one step at a time. I'm not going to try and do everything at once. And I certainly remember coming up, seeing certain other UK artists that sort of Moorish Delta, you know, that did a thing and spoke for hip hop in their way, you know. So there is that legacy there.
Yeah. But since the year that we haven't saw you, there's been a lot going on in the UK. There's been numerous uprisings across the globe, you know, politically, socially, and religiously. There's been a lot of reasons and that things have been going on, and we're coming up to the anniversary of the riots. You know, and do you feel how do you feel that the country's like? Do you feel that the country has been coping with it okay, or?
It seems to me that the environment that gave rise for the particular situations that arose has in some ways got even worse since then, and the country has used, as I would expect, understanding the system that we live in, rather than think, you know what, we've got some problems here, we've been demonising our young people, young poor people, because we always say they demonise young people, they're not demonising young rich kids. If you can afford to go to the mall and buy stuff, you're welcome. If you can't buy stuff, you're a nuisance, you know. If you dress a particular way, you're a nuisance. If you look a particular way, you're a nuisance.
It's real talk.
So it's we have a very unequal system, but we're told it's equal. And I think this is part of the difficulty of living in a country like Britain. Unlike maybe some other countries where maybe life is physically more difficult.
Yeah.
But kind of, there's not the slogan of this is a free and fair country where everyone can make it if they just work hard enough. You know, some countries you just know it's just hard. You know, even where some of my family comes from in Jamaica, you know, there's parts of the yard where you just know it's hard living and ain't that, you know, it's certain. But here we're told on the face of it that, you know, we have equality, but we clearly do not. Whether that be between rich, poor, man, woman, people of colour and the white establishment. So all these forms of inequality obviously make people angry. You know, you live in a council estate opposite a millionaire. You know, you have the science of inequality causes problems, right? And it seems to me this society, like all societies, capitalist societies, doesn't want to address the inequality. It wants to pretend that the people on the receiving end of the inequality are to blame for their own situation or a nuisance or need to be got rid of. So rather than looking at what happened last year as an indication of how unequal this society is, how frustrated a lot of groups of people in this society are, and redress that. And that doesn't mean that justifies all of what went on either, because there was a lot of bandwagon hopping, a lot of people just
jumping on it.
A lot of people just using what the legitimate frustrations of police brutality, racism, classism, etc. A lot of people who didn't really care about any of those things just jumping on bandwagon jumping, and there was a lot of disorganisation, which also doesn't. Disorganisation is our biggest enemy, as Marcus Garvey said. But it seems that the power establishment is intent on using last August events and the general tone that young poor people, particularly young poor people of colour, are a problem.
Yeah.
To further make the country even more unequal, to further deprive people of the limited opportunity they already have, while still telling us that if you just work hard enough and you're clever enough, you'll make it. And of course, people like me, they would kind of love to use me as an example of that. Well, look at Akala, you know, he's really clever, he's doing all right. But the reality is, I was just very lucky. There's been many times in my life, not saying my hard work and practice and reading and all those things didn't help, of course they do. But the reality is, there's been many points in my life where, only looking back now as a big man, I used to go, I'm foolish, you know.
Yeah,
in a particular environment,
you do think about it now.
So there's loads of junctures where it could have not ended up the way it's ended up today. But people don't want to tell that story. All they tell is, well, they give you examples and they say, well, look at this person or look at that person. They worked hard, they made it. Yeah, that's true, and that is good to have people to look at. But it's also not the whole story. You've got to tell the whole story. People like to look at the exception and not the rule. So people will tell
Listen to this guy, you know, educated, intelligent guy. I hope you're listening to what he's saying.